Welcome back to Starting Point with me, Siska Becker, and my lovely co-host, Luisa Kusnandar. And as we promised before, we now have those special guests who have joined us here in the studio. Welcome to Putra Aditya and Mary Trishak, who's going to talk to us about the Waisili Academic Fellowship, a very special program from the U.S. government.
Exactly. And what is actually Waisili? Now, since 2013, the Young Southeast Asian Leaders Initiative, or Waisili, has become a catalyst for Southeast Asian youth, especially Indonesia, with its 500+ alumni across the country. Hashtag Waisili will continue its journey empowering Southeast Asian future leaders and as well as decision makers to further contribute to their country and region, as well as strengthening the relationship between the United States and Southeast Asian countries, including Indonesia.
Including us here in Indonesia, to the United States to further develop their professional and leadership skills.
And to know more about that, we have Waisili Coordinator and Assistant Cultural Affairs Office. We have Putra Aditya and Mary Trishak. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for coming here, joining us in the studio in TV Our World. Very excited to learn more about Waisili. So, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
For the 10th anniversary.
Thank you.
We're very excited about it.
Very exciting. But maybe we can start off by you telling us what is actually Waisili? What is the main focus and the objective of the program?
Sure. So Waisili, or the Young Southeast Asia Leader Initiative, was started in 2013 by President Barack Obama as a means to harness the enthusiasm, the ingenuity, and the enthusiasm of young leaders from across ASEAN countries to focus their efforts on global and regional problems such as environmental issues, economic development, civic engagement, and education. So those 4 pillars make up the basis for the Waisili program. And since 2013, we have grown to over 160,000 members throughout ASEAN and Timor-Leste. And as you probably can guess, Indonesia is #1. We have about 50,000 members here in Indonesia.
50,000 just from Indonesia.
Just from Indonesia.
Pretty much all of it, almost.
Yes.
All right. Perhaps, Putra, can you please share what are the programs that are offered by Waisili?
So yeah, based on the video earlier, our main programs are like the fellowship or exchanges to the US, where we have 2 main program, academic fellows. Those are for members in the age 18 to 25, where if they get selected, they will be going to the US and attending like a summer or short course in US university, learning about specific issues that they're advocating back home. And then we also have professional fellowship program. It's for those member in the age 25 to 35, has minimum 2 years of work experience and currently working, because if they got selected, they'll be going to the US to do a fellowship or internship in American offices or university or NGOs, and then they can also get the opportunity to bring their supervisor, American supervisor, back to do 1 to 2 weeks programs.
So will we get to choose, as an applicant, will they get to choose which company or NGO they will be working with, or is it chosen by the Waisili?
So you're only choosing the team based on whatever your background is, but we will try as best as possible to find a perfect match for you. You can also put like a suggestion of what kind of like a placement that you want to do in the US, like, and we can go from there. Those are the fellowship, but we also have the regional workshop. So we're not only sending people to the US, but also we're doing workshop regionally in Southeast Asia, where it is hosted by US Embassy and consulates across Southeast Asia. So ASEAN and Timor-Leste. It's usually only 3 to 5 days, and it's more thematic, like more specific to theme. And we also have a project competition that we call Seeds for the Future. It's an annual competition for everyone who has a project idea or already have a project that wants to be funded by Waisili program.
Wow, you guys have been busy. A lot of things you can actually participate in the Waisili program. So I'm speaking on behalf of everybody watching. What are the qualifications? What are the criteria to actually join in this fellowship?
That's a great question. We're really looking for young people who have a capacity for leadership and who are interested in doing community development and capacity building in their communities around the 4 pillars. So environmental issues, social entrepreneurship, civic engagement, and education. Aside from that, they do have to speak English, but I have very good news for everyone. There is no TOEFL score required or IELTS score. The application is, they have to write an essay in English, and then we do the interview in English. And as long as the students can pass that, or the young people can pass that, then they're fine. But we're really looking for that kind of leadership capacity and people who want to bring change to their communities and who are interested in connecting with people in the region and the United States.
Now, would you say that the selection process is tough, or are you pretty lenient with your applicants?
I would say that our selection process is competitive.
Competitive,
I think that last year we had about 60 slots for academic fellowship, and we had about 30 slots for professional fellowship, and we had over 1,000 people apply for each of them. So it is competitive, but we're really looking for people who can represent all of Indonesia. So we're looking to find people from, all the way from Aceh to Papua, from Maluku to here in Jakarta. Jakarta too.
Yes.
So we're looking for geographic diversity in our applicants. We're really looking for community engagement in applicants. And we've had people who have applied 2, 3, 4 times, and they finally get it the 4th or 5th time.
That's good.
So you can apply as many times as you want, and you can apply for any of the programs that you're eligible for. So academic fellowship is 18 to 25 years old. Professional fellowship, 25 to 35 years old. The SEEDS competition is open to everyone who's a member of YSEALI, as are the regional workshops.
Oh, okay. If you can explain a little bit more about your program. So how long will the fellowship goes for?
The academic fellowship and professional fellowship are usually about 5 to 6 weeks, and they run throughout the year. So we have programs in the fall, in the spring, sometimes even late summer. And then the regional workshops are usually about 1 week only. And the SEEDS competition for that grant funding opportunity is for a community project up to 6 months in your community.
Up to 6 months.
So it really depends on the program because YSEALI has so many program components. You do have to read the fine print when you're applying just to make sure that you are aware of how long the program is and what the specific qualifications are.
But it's just nice. 5 to 6 weeks is just nice during that summer holiday.
And it's a great taste of the United States. When you go on the academic fellowship and the professional fellowship, you do spend a lot of time in a classroom learning with your peers, learning with American students and professors, but you also get to go out and have fun. So for example, some of our academic fellowship participants were at University of Montana this year, and they got to go snowshoeing in Glacier National Park.
Oh, nice.
Snowshoeing.
I've never done that. What is that?
Snowshoeing.
I would love to know.
You have a kind of a plank that you strap to your feet, and then you walk on the snow so that you don't sink in.
It's one of those that looks like a racket, right?
Or is it looks like a racket.
Okay. Very particular thing to do in Montana.
Snowshoeing.
Now to go back to the journey of the YSEALI program, especially in Indonesia, this is your 10th anniversary. Could you tell us maybe what are the biggest lessons that you've learned through the history of YSEALI itself, and maybe also share with us some notable experiences like the highs that you shared with maybe the applicants who joined in the program.
I think the initial challenge for YSEALI was just getting the word out about all of the programs that we had and spreading the word to communities across Indonesia about eligibility. But now we have this amazing network, 50,000 strong, and so we're really able to reach a lot of different communities throughout Indonesia. And a lot of our YSEALI alum, when they're traveling to a new city, right, they'll go onto the network and they'll say, hey, who's YSEALI here? And they have an instant friend for dinner or for lunch, right?
They become the ambassador for YSEALI, right?
Exactly. I think, do you want to talk about some of our greatest highlights? Putra is Mr. YSEALI in our office.
And he's smiling, so I was like, he has a lot of stories to share.
So I cannot wait to share with us.
Working with YSEALI for the past almost 10 years too, I saw maybe like for us Indonesian, young Indonesian with the title of leaders, a lot of people like, I'm not a founder yet, I'm not the C-level yet, I'm not the head of this or that yet. But within YSEALI, they can see like everyone has a chance, because like the leaders that we met is the one that see there's a problem and they want to be part of the solution of this problem, not just someone who has a position. It's good if they have a position, but it's also good if you know the problem and you're actively involved to be the solution of the problem. So one of the highlights is seeing these people, like this alumni grow from where they are and they participated in YSEALI and how they are now. Because like some of them like they just initiated an organization and now it's very big organization. Some of them like they don't think they can do it and then now even they founded something. And then like some of the community that never think that they can be represented. So we do have like fellows from various of background, including people with disabilities. So we do have deaf alumni. That thought like, oh, we might never get be able to participate in this kind of program. No, they can participate in this program and they become an advocate to more deaf applicants to apply, because like in the US within YSEALI, we accommodate and we're very inclusive. And we accommodate all their needs, and everyone are the same, treated the same.
So it's very inclusive. That's good
exactly.
to know.
And it goes around Indonesia, right? You get applicants from all around Indonesia. Could you tell us a specific story, like your favorite success story among all of your applicants?
Oh. Man, the alumni will be like, you should.
He's trying to find one. I'm
not trying to favoritism over one particular one, but one of the very first alumni that I work with is Tenia. She's from Jakarta, I think. She graduated from ITB, where she and her friends initiated a diverse club. But it's not just going diving in the sea, but they also see so many ocean trash within the sea, and they founded like diverse clean action, where so besides diving, they also do ocean pickup, like trash pickup while diving, and then do the mappings. And then that organization just started when she participated in YSEALI in 2016.
Right. Because I've never heard of a diverse trash pickup club. I mean, like usually they will clean up, you know, on the shore of the beach, but not actually when they go diving.
Go down, and then they do the mapping, what kind of like trash down there that we send from the land. And then like in 2018, her organization became our partner in hosting a regional workshop about marine debris issues here in Jakarta, where we bring young leaders from all 10 ASEAN countries plus Timor-Leste, and they learn from the river, and then go to Bantar Gebang, even go to Kepulauan Seribu to see how the trash and the cycle for us people in the land and how it affected the sea. And it comes full in circle, and that's like one of the things that always memorable to me.
So a lot of eye-opening experiences. Yes, please, Mary.
So one of the other things that Tenia was able to do when the U.S. government was looking for representatives, youth representatives, to go to Our Oceans conference, we were able to select Tenia to go to Our Oceans conference and connect with our special envoy for climate change, John Kerry, as well as other activists from around the globe to talk about what she was doing here in Indonesia, here in the region, and connect with people who are doing something similar around the world. And now they've kind of come up with an action plan of how they want to connect to really fight marine debris across the globe, because it's not just an Indonesia issue, it's a regional issue. So that's one of the things that I think is so special about this program, is it really helps young people see the problem that I'm facing in my community. You're facing that problem too, in America, in Bangkok, in Vietnam, wherever you are. These issues are real for everyone, and we can come together to find solutions.
It's like, what can you do? And it's like, can I just ask, how old is Tania? When she applied for this fellowship?
She was still in university, so I think it was like in the early 20s.
Very young.
Yeah, very young. And the most important things, like a lot of people think about YSEALI going to the US, which is like, that's like the biggest program, right? But Tania only participated the regional workshop hosted here in Jakarta. So she practically doesn't even travel to go to
she made it,
participate.
She made it.
But like the impact that she made is like long lasting. Even up until today.
So a lot of eye-opening experiences that broaden their horizons. of the participants. Now, I want to go back to what you mentioned earlier. I love that you mentioned about personal growth, how the participants manage to build on their confidence and their experiences through the fellowship. Now, I want to ask, on behalf of all the introverts out there now listening, maybe they have the passion, they have the knowledge, even maybe the experiences, but when it comes to connecting and talking and even public speaking, maybe not so much. What would you suggest to these future applicants? How should they develop that skill to truly excel, especially in the interview session,
Right.
and when they're in the fellowship itself and they need to connect with other people?
Yes, I really appreciate this question because I'm an introvert too. And so I understand that sometimes getting up and advocating for yourself in public speaking is very difficult. You know, during the interview, we really just want people to relax and have a conversation with us, not feel the pressure. You know, and if they're nervous about talking, really write up their essay in a way that conveys
That's right.
the
That's
issue
why
that
you
they
have
want.
the essay,
We have both.
actually.
Yes. And don't be scared to tell us during the interview, I'm an introvert and this makes me nervous, right? And give us that context to understand.
That's a very good tip.
For all of our programs, we make sure that we provide platforms not just for big public engagements, but for small group work as well and individual reflection. We were at the Waisili Summit, which is kind of the biggest workshop that happens each year in the country that's hosting the ASEAN chair. And the summit last year made a lot of space for people who are introverts to go and have reflection and then bring their ideas back to the group through writing on a whiteboard or through sharing with Post-it notes or something like that. And since I mentioned that the summit is held in the ASEAN country each year, that does mean that this year we're hoping to have our ASEAN summit here in Indonesia. And we're very excited to be bringing 150 to 200 young people from across the region to learn from one another and to kind of think about, where does Waisili go in the next decade?
So when is the summit going to be held?
We are looking right now in December. We can't make an official announcement yet. We're still in the planning process, but we're looking
But
in
it's
December.
great if you are having it here in Jakarta. In Jakarta?
Well, we can't make an announcement yet.
All right. Okay, we get that.
Looking forward for updates.
forward.
We will
Okay.
invite you to cover the activities. named.
That's for TVRI World. If I can just ask, what kind of characters are you looking for in an applicant besides the leadership character you mentioned before?
Yeah. I think that applicants should be open to change and open to new ideas. Resiliency, right? How do you come back from failure or from challenging situations? One of the Waisili alumni that I got the chance to meet when I was in Japara 2 years ago, she applied for the economic entrepreneurship platform, and she had tried to start a restaurant in Japara, and she opened the restaurant and it failed, and she opened another restaurant and it failed, and then she got the chance to go into this Waisili economic program, and she kind of changed her mindset about how she was going to approach her business, and she tried again, and it was a great success.
That's a great story.
It's fantastic. And her fried chicken is amazing. So I think looking at people who can be resilient, who can be open to change, and who are interested in connecting with people in the region and the United States.
Okay, so not giving up attitude totally helps, and sharing your personal stories as well to show how resilient you are and how you will never give up on your dreams.
Yep. All right, we will go for a short break first, but we'll come back with more questions for Waisili, so stick with us at Starting Point. You're back watching Starting Point, and we're still here about why Sealy, if you are young and you want to apply for a fellowship to go to the States and stay there for approximately 5 to 6 weeks, this is where you want to go, really, because you have so many programs for the youngsters as well for the professionals. Yes. Now, to continue our conversation before, what are your intended learning outcomes for the YSEALI applicants?
Yeah. That's a great question. It's a difficult question. It depends on the program. For the academic fellows, we really want them to just kind of have that academic experience of learning about that pillar area, so environmental issues, social entrepreneurship, but also they engage with communities in the United States. So if they work in civic engagement, they might go visit an NGO in the United States who's working on a similar project. We want them to kind of have their eyes opened to how different communities approach the same problem so that they might be able to come back with some fresh ideas and might be able to give the folks in the United States and other countries some of their best examples. We also really want them to share their experience with their communities. Because this is a competitive program, we unfortunately can't send everyone to the United States. So we would like our participants to come back and be ambassadors for their program, to share what they've learned with their communities, with their peers, and I guess spread the love, right? Spread the joy of what they've learned in the United States. And then keep connecting with us. We have many different opportunities for alumni once they're finished with the program to apply for further grants. To apply for additional programs where they can continue their learning and continue to work in the community that they're in.
Okay, so that is actually a really good segue to my next question. What happens when the YSEALI program ends for a participant? How do you engage with them? How do you make sure that they still continue everything that they've learned in the program to their communities? How do you do that?
So we usually didn't say to our participants that once they went to the program and come back, it's the end of their journey. It's actually the beginning of their journey.
Nice.
Because it's not done yet. We're choosing them not just to go there. It's just to start. Like Ibu Mary mentioned, all of the benefits and like what we want them to explore once they return. Also including like strengthening regional collaborations, because like at the beginning this program is very regional focused. So we give them a platform where they can meet with like young leaders from the same country but the other part of their countries, and also from participants from other country in the region that work in the same issues with them and are open, and they're always eager to collaborate with each other, where like, oh, we've been doing this about inclusive education in Indonesia, and we will collaborate with someone in the Philippines and in Vietnam, and then they will apply for grant opportunities or other opportunities outside of the U.S. government.
So it started from YSEALI. Now, very quickly, for those watching, and you've mentioned so many programs just now, how do we get more information and how do you apply for a YSEALI fellowship?
So the best way to get information about the programs is to follow our Instagram, YSEALI Official. You can also follow the U.S. Embassy platform, U.S. Embassy JKT. And every time we have an opening, we'll announce it on our Instagram feed. We also do a lot of Instagram live programs to give people tips and tricks about how to apply. You can also follow our website. It's a little more old school, but Instagram is probably better. And then just really quickly, also about the programs, they're completely free. So I think this is really important to mention that applicants need to have a passport in order to travel to wherever they're traveling to.
No need for U.S. visa before. You can just have the passport and then apply for the visa.
Yes, we help you with the visa. We provide health insurance. We provide airline tickets. Tickets to come to your visa interview and to go to the United States or to go to a regional workshop if that's where you're going. So all of that is provided by the U.S. Embassy. Health insurance, living stipend, all of those kinds of things. All the applicants need is a passport and some ole ole or Indomie or something to share once they get there.
Great. That's fantastic to hear.
Such a great opportunity.
So is there an opening in the near future that people can
we just closed the professional fellow early in August 1st, but we're going to open for academic fellow sometimes by the end of this month or September for the departure in like around spring next year.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So stay tuned on Instagram and watch
Yes.
the Instagram live.
Yeah,
Yes.
and then we will also open the application for Wisely Summit, but it's
Yes.
only for alumni. That's like another engagement that we keep with our alumni. Like they can apply for another program that we offer them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Right.
And
Full
also-
social agenda, yeah?
Yes. There's always a Wisely program
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the regional workshops run almost once a month throughout the year. So if you're interested in joining one of those programs, follow our Instagram and you'll find out how to apply there.
Okay.
Okay.
Ibu Mary, Mas Putra, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming into our studio. We learned so much about this exciting program. Hopefully our viewers can make the most of the opportunity.
Yeah,
Thank you
Thank
for
you
being
for
us.
having us.
Thank you so much for
Starting
having
Point.
us.
Thank you. And we look forward to your summit later on this year. And that ends Starting Point. I'm Luisa Kusnandar.
And I'm Siska Becker. Stay tuned to TV ROI World for our ongoing reporting on every national headlines and international headlines. Until then, take care. Thank you
Bye-bye.
for watching.